shouldn't know. I got secrets.
Hello there, Stephanie Kammerman, the Stock Whisperer, here with this week's Dark Pool Insights for April 6th, 2020. What a rocky week we had, right, guys? It was choppy. Felt like we were in the middle of a storm this week, right? We were going up, we were going down, we were going up, we were going down. The week before was so much easier to trade. I mean, we went straight up. Yeah, choppy markets. Normally, when we're chopping around like this, it's usually the top. Just saying from my experience, that's usually what happens. But before we get to this week's new trade setups, because I have so many for you, I'm really excited. Awesome stuff. We're just going to quickly review last week's results. But remember, it was choppy, so we got a little chopped up. The SPY, we were bearish below 250. We hit a couple of targets. And then, of course, we went up again. Then we went down again. The QQQs, we went above 187.50. We hit a couple of targets. EWJ, we went below 49. This is a great trade on the short side. By the way, the UUP did not go above or below those levels, no trade. XLF did not go above or below those levels, no trade. Delta was a really good trade on the short side. Let's see, GDX did not break our levels. Home Depot went below 182.50 and hit quite a few levels. IVW, remember I told you this was not a good vehicle to trade, right? But to trade the top components, which I'll go over in a minute. But we did go above 167.50 and we also went below 157.50. Quite a bit of choppiness, but Microsoft was great on the long side. See, that's why these are so much better to trade. Apple went above 260 and then went below 240. Big, wide range. Facebook hit a couple targets on the upside. Visa didn't go and break above any of those levels. JP Morgan, though, did give us a couple targets on the downside. Coca-Cola went above 45 but couldn't quite stay above there. PBR was great on the long side. End of the week, oil went up. Starbucks went below quite a few targets on the short side. And AT&T hit a target on the downside. USO was our big winner this week. I know my whole trading room rocked this. I'm going to show you that trade in just a moment. And XLA hit a couple of targets. Now, the prints always come before the news, right? If you've been following me for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, and this is your first time you've witnessed the Dark Pool Insights, let me show you a couple examples just from this week. So if you recall, recently we had those big prints on Delta, sell prints, which was in the Whisper last week. March 25th, right? 2 million came in. And we had big prints on Southwest, on Love, 2.2 million. Guess who was selling? Warren Buffett. Prints come first, and then the news. Also happened on United States Oil Fund, USO. This was in the Whisper, the Dark Pool Insights as well. Every day I was whispering about USO, as I'll show you. But last week's Insights, I showed you these massive prints. 4.4 million on March 25th. Another 4.4 million on March 27th. And if you recall, we were bullish above 512, bearish below 425. Well, breaking news after the prints. That's right, U.S. President Trump tells CNBC that he spoke to President Putin yesterday and Saudi Crown Prince today and expects them to announce an oil production cut of 10 million barrels and could be up to 15 million. More news came out. And of course, USO went through the roof, got halted, but guess what? We already knew something like this was going to happen, right? We had those massive prints. Prints come before the news. In fact, in my daily Dark Pool Whisper for April 2nd, we were bullish above 487. Okay, this was on Thursday. And I told Gordon, who, congratulations, Trader of the week, Gordon. You know why? Because he told me that USO was over $4.85. That was the big print. I said, Gordon, just tell me whenever we go above that, because it was moving up and down all morning. And he did, and guess what? We all jumped in it. Thomas jumped in first. Nice job, Thomas. I jumped into the 6 calls. I like to go to the monthly expirations. Out of the money. They were dirt cheap. And Valiance jumped in. So did Paul. He also bought those calls for 16 cents. Raul bought those calls. And so did Dan B. Oh, Dan B called out we were off the chart. And yeah, you can see we went up really fast. And when that happens, we always want to take profit. So I got out of half of my calls, 90% ROI, you guys, in like 20 minutes. And Paladin also bought those calls. Gordon did and sold to close 5.5 calls. Nice job there. And USO got halted. It went up so much so fast. And so I wrote, I want to know who bought all those USO blocks. So it continued to go up that day. Susan bought the 5 calls. I got out of another quarter of my 6 calls. I like to scale out half, quarter, as you'll see, and then I start to roll. The speculator, Chris, in my room, did really well. He sold at 40 cents. He bought those for 28 cents. And Ned, a new trader in my room, wrote, buy to close, do not follow me. Lily, I have the USO May 15th 8 calls, which I had as well from previous. Paul bought the 7 calls. Moleman bought the 7 calls also. Michael B bought them. I rolled into the 7 calls as well on the pullback, which I love to do. I love to sell. Sometimes I hold the last quarter, but you can see I got out of my last quarter after I rolled. So I went from 6 to 7, and you can see my traders were following me. Ned scaled in. Rain Man bought the 6 calls. Gordon bought the 6.5 calls. Kara bought the USO calls. So here's a chart that day of the oil futures. I always put the oil futures in my whisper, by the way. Every morning I look at the pre-market price action, and I do bullish above 22.60, which you can see it went right above there. But guess what we formed? We formed, what can you guys tell from this picture what we formed? A flag. Yeah, and if you know about flags, you measure the distance of the pole to the bottom of the flag right there, $4. And we usually get another $4 move once we break the top of the flag. So guess what happened, right? So that brings us to about 30. Guess where we went to? Yeah, we went all the way up to 30. In fact, the next day, bullish above 26.75. Yeah, we went all the way to 29, except we stopped. Why do you think we stopped right there on the candle? We went right up to there. Well, that happens to be a moving average that's really powerful on the weekly chart. It's called the 4 exponential moving average. I use the 4, and the pink line is the 8. So our next trade setup this week is pretty easy. If we can break above 30, I have targets going up to 35, which is the 8 EMA. And then if we go below 23.50, then I have targets going all the way down to 20. All right, well, guess what? The next day, on Friday, all right, Friday, April 3rd, USO continued to climb. It was in my whisper once again. I was bullish above 550. And I wrote in the morning at 7:35 that we were already going above 550 right there. And we climbed all the way to $5.88. Why do you guys think we stopped right there? Well, if you've been following me for a long time, you know why. But if not, you got to get this book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator by Edwin Lefebvre. It's a story of Jesse Livermore. He interviewed him in 1923, you guys, over 100 years ago. And I'm going to tell you, this is my trading Bible. Nothing has changed in 100 years. This is so fantastic. Look what Jesse Livermore wrote. One of the most helpful things that anybody can learn is to give up trying to catch the last eighth or the first. These two are the most expensive eighths in the world. They have cost stock traders in the aggregate enough millions of dollars to build a concrete highway across the continent. And it's 2020, and we went to the last eighth, and we pulled all the way back. This is a very popular pattern. We're still trading in fractions, by the way. Yes, we are, and you can see them on the right side of my chart here. Yeah, we're still trading in fractions. We go to the last eighth, they pull it back, usually to around the 60-cent level. They went a little bit deeper, and then they pull it up and hit 6, the major dollars. And the same goes when they're pulling it down to the last eighth on the bottom, or the first eighth they call it, $5.12. Pull it up and then bring it down to 5. So this is so great. I can't tell you how much money I've saved by knowing this rule. So please, yeah, scale out right before the last eighth if you can. In this case, it happened pre-market, so we really couldn't do it when we're in options. But if I was in the stock, I would have taken profit and bought it back lower. So let me just show you what happened that day. All right, I got out of half of my calls, my 7 calls. And my traders proceeded to scale out, taking profits. Bad Boy, Paladin, Rain Man, nice job, 110%. Pip Chick, 88%. Jeff C, Gordon, my traders all were rocking this. I rolled into 750 calls on this pullback. We went as deep to 550. Now the 50-cent increments are very powerful, so I figured it would probably hold that area. It's a good time to buy on a pullback. Buying further out of the money. I mean, these things cost me 13 cents. All right, and guess what? My traders followed me. Yeah, Paul got them for 11 cents. Awesome job, Paul. And then very quickly afterwards, literally a couple of seconds, it popped. And I got out of my last 7 calls. And then I got out of my last, I got out of my last 7 calls here at 7:04 because I rolled into the 750s. So a lot of times I will roll before I get out of my last. And I feel safer and I won't have exititis. Pip Chick scaled out of hers. Paul scaled out of his. You can see my traders were rocking and rolling it. Nice job, Stephanie, on your calls as well. And then I read, I'm going to roll USO into the last trade. Doesn't work. And you can see it proceeded to move up. And where did it go? Went right up to 6. So my traders took profits all along the way. As you can see, my whole room was in this. All right. G-Ray wrote that there was a big seller at 6. Thank you, on the ARCA book. And I took profits. Out of my 750 calls, 19 cents, I paid 11. Awesome job. Bad Boy also took profit on his. And here are more trades from my traders. Rocking and rolling. I love it. So where do we go from here? Well, these are the new trades that came in Thursday and Friday, April 2nd and 3rd. We got quite a bit of volume there. I'm guessing they probably took some profits, but there's still more room to the upside, and we have this gap in the chart. So popular pattern is we normally go up to the strongest level before the gap, which is about 7. They'll probably pull it back. They might do it to 650. And then they fill up the gap. But we're going to follow the prints, and this is our new trade setup. Bullish above 6, and I put the gap fake out in there. Bearish below 480. So I am currently in the 8 calls, and I will proceed to rock and roll if I can. All right, let's go to some more trades. We have a lot of trades to cover. You guys ready? Caterpillar. It has been so long since I have seen a big print on Caterpillar. 1 million traded at 114. We got a smaller trade at 115.27. And it's been splashing around. I have a feeling this week is going to be the week to move. So we are going to be bullish above 117.50 and bearish below 110. Now, earnings are at the end of the month. All right, so be careful with that. Let's go to the next one. Carnival's been just taking a dive. But guess what? We got really big prints at 820. Now, I know that these cruise ships are offering major incentives for people to cruise again in 2021. I heard through the grapevine they're giving 25% extra. So if you booked a cruise and you're canceling it, obviously they're not cruising right now. They're going to give you your money back in a voucher, but I heard they're going to peg on an extra 25%. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, lots of perks and incentives. They obviously want everybody to start cruising again. So is this the bottom? I don't know. I'm just going to follow the prints, okay? We could go down to 5 before we bounce. Or these huge, massive prints are the dark pool buying. So 820 is so key to watch. So we're going to be bullish above 10. I really wanted to break above the next major level 10. And I'll be bearish below 750. Also, Walt Disney. Yep, they're closed. Yeah, they're obviously not making money. But we got this big print that came in this week. $93.43, 750,000. So I'm going to be bullish above 97.50 and bear below 92.50. Key levels to watch for Disney. So here's some interesting prints that came in on some ETFs. This first one is Germany, EWG, industrial stocks. I mean, this is big, you guys. 4 million at 2057, and they're into market sweeps. And look at the other ones, 600, 600, 600, 400. Look at the volume on April 2nd. Something is going on with these German stocks. Oh yeah, we got to definitely watch this. We're going to be bullish above 21 this week and bearish below 20. Kind of reminds me of those Japan prints that we had a couple weeks ago. Something's going on. But wait a second. Switzerland. Yeah, ETF, EWL. This is highly unusual on March 30th. And also look at the volume on March 27th. Something's happening here. Bullish above 35.50 and bearish below 34. All right, let's move on to gold. We have some interesting prints coming in on GOLD, Barracks. We're going to be bullish above 21, bear below 16. Just look at that volume, though. Do you see this high volume in all these candles? Something's happening. They're accumulating or distributing. Okay, it's a consolidation on high volume. This is going to move as soon as they're done. But guess what else we got? A massive print, 5 million pre-market hidden on IAU. That's the dark pool favorite. So I want you to watch these levels. Bullish above 1575, bearish below 1475. And again, look at this just massive volume that's been coming in here. Yeah, something's going on with gold. So let's check out, I don't usually trade these guys, but I want you to watch the levels. I like to trade GDX. So we have this very interesting inverted head and shoulders. See this neck, head, and shoulders. See that? We have the neckline is the T-spot. I was watching this so carefully on Friday to see if we were going to close above it. And the last minute, they sold it off, leaving us in suspense, of course, right? But guess what? This week, we should know which way we're going to go. So we're going to be bullish above 26. And we're going to be bearish below 23. Keep your eye on GDX. GLD also has this lovely T-spot. And some really big prints. And we're going to be bullish above 155 and we're going to be bearish below 148. All right, how many of you have been buying food? Well, no wonder Kroger has been going up, and massive prints coming in at 30.50. See those guys? Serious prints. We're going to be bullish above 33 and bearish below 30 for Kroger. Let's go on to the next one, oil. Let's go back to oil because MRO, massive prints. We have been consolidating for months. A long frying pan bottom. We're going to be bullish above 4 and bearish below 340. Oracle's our next one. Yep, massive 2.7 million. It splashed a bit. I think it's going to move this week. We're going to be bullish above 51.50. Bearish below 48. Keep your eye on Oracle. Schlumberger, another oil. Yeah, it looks like frying pan bottom, right? See these? That's what I'm looking at right there. But it's always about the prints, right? So you got to follow the prints. Big prints coming in, by the way. April 2nd. Yep, 500,000, 1433, 1449. We have this gap, so we're going to be bullish above 1475. Bearish below 1350. Let me show you this next one is so interesting. TJ Maxx. Remember we had those big prints at the bottom. They were buying on March 23rd. And then those big guys were selling. Yeah, they were selling on March 30th. And then we got new prints at 47.81, 47.98, selling at the top. So where do we go from here? Well, we're only going to be bullish above 48, and we are going to be bearish below 40. They'll probably retest those bottom prints to see if those guys still want to buy some TJ Maxx. Bullish above 48 and bearish below 40. TLT, superstar. I've loved this swing since we had this 9 million prints. We got some new prints in this week. March 30th, 500,000, 166.20. March 30th, also 490,000, 169.20. So we're going to be bullish above 170. We've already tested it once and pulled back. And bearish below 165. So those are your whispers, your dark pool insights actually for this week. However, you know I got to give you the major index ETFs, right? Of course, I wouldn't leave you hanging. So let's go with the SPY. These are the recent dark pool levels to the right. And you can see they're pretty big one, 257.65. That was 38 million. That's the biggest recent one that we've gotten. So I'm going to be bullish above 262.50. Yeah, we're below that print, so I'm bearish right now. We'd really have to break above that red line. That's like the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart. We really need to break above that for me to put my bull hat on and above those prints. Bearish below 245. Let's go to the QQQs, which upthrusted on the weekly, that big wick at the top. And those are your recent prints. 186 was the biggest one, 3 million, and 192, 3 million. We are below that. We'd have to go above that for me to be bullish. 192.50, that's why I picked that level. Bearish below 180. Look out, we might go all the way down and finally touch the 200 simple moving average. One more, you guys. The Russell, the weakest index of them all. You can see the Russell's way below that red 200 simple moving average. Oh yeah, lost it weeks ago. So it is the weaker one, and it is definitely leading the market down. So we're only going to be bullish above 115, okay? And bear below 104. So here you have it. These are your weekly insights. Go ahead and take a picture. I have 2 slides. And I'll go to the next slide. There's a lot. So pick and choose your favorites. I obviously don't trade all of them. I can't. It's not humanly possible, but I will pick my favorites. I do love USO. I will watch MRO. That's one of my favorites. Oracle I love. TLT I'm already in. I do like Kroger and GDX I'm trading already. So those really are my faves. If you're in my room with me, you get to watch me trade and learn how to do it. But until next time, happy trading.
No thinking, that's my secret. Gonna keep it my secret. My secret.